Hello, my name is John Stewart. I want to start by thanking the organizers of this event for the opportunity to present this paper, and also to thank the organizers of this particular session. As you'll see from the screen, my chosen topic is the need for a public debate on drones. But first of all, a little bit about myself. I am the chair of UECNA, a network representing communities impacted by aircraft noise at airports across Europe. I also chair the UK Noise Association, and am the lead author of Why Noise Matters, published by Routledge and Taylor in 2011. For 20 years, until I stepped down in 2020, I was the coordinator of HACAN, which gives a voice to communities under the Heathrow flight paths. I'm also a member of the EU Noise Expert Group and represent UECNA at EASA and ICAO. Any new technology brings both opportunities and challenges. Where a technology impacts directly upon the public, the widespread introduction of that technology is best preceded, in my view, by a public debate. That public debate should then help inform the regulation of the technology. Drones have huge potential. They can transport goods, including life-saving machines, across difficult terrain. This can be of particular benefit in emerging economies where good rail or road infrastructure may not be in place. There are many other useful functions. It's important, and particularly important, I think, for somebody like myself who has some noise concerns about drones, not to downplay what drones can achieve. However, it is precisely because drones will have an important role to play in society, and one way or the other will impact on all our lives, that a debate involving the public takes place, and takes place now. Public acceptability of drones is more likely if there is an open debate than if they're introduced by stealth. Sometimes it can be hard for an industry, any industry, to engage in public debate. This can be particularly so in the case of a new industry. Because of the newness of its technology, those developing it will know that some things are still in an experimental stage and may be fearful that they can't provide the public with all the answers to its questions. But that need not, in my view, be a reason to shy away from public debate. There is too an understandable excitement during the early development stages of any technology, and the drone industry is no exception to this. Indeed, I'm quite excited about what drones can achieve. But we must be careful that this excitement doesn't result in potential problems being wished away. Public debate around the introduction of drones is essential. Without it, there is a danger that their challenges will be downplayed and their benefits misunderstood. The public will need reassurance on safety, security, intrusion, and the impact on wildlife. But the biggest challenge will be around noise. Drones will be a new type of noise. And because it will come from the sky, it will not be easy to shield it from those on the ground. There is, I believe, a strong case for tests or experiments to be carried out to gauge people's reactions. However, there is an additional problem. People may accept and even get excited by a few drones overhead, but they may come to reject numerous drones operating on a regular basis. But for drones to become a commercial success, they will need to operate in numbers. Without knowing how the public will react to this, any commercial delivery company planning to operate with drones will be taking a risk when purchasing them. A comprehensive public debate beforehand would lessen that risk. An example may, for example, be to identify places such as densely populated inner city areas where the levels of activity might be so great as to rule out regular drone deliveries. The drones are often compared with helicopters. They will be quieter than helicopters, but while helicopters are usually relatively rare, drones could be very frequent. Drones will be introduced around the time that the roads in many cities will be becoming quieter, with the introduction of electric cars, lower speed limits, quieter road surfaces, and a move towards public transport, walking and cycling. Drone noise will therefore likely become more noticeable, more dominant. I think that means that attempts to measure drone noise against current levels of traffic noise are unlikely to capture accurately future scenarios. There are other concerns than noise that the public has. Many people accept the chances of conventional aircraft crashing are now low. But to see unmanned drones flying low over their homes could produce a very different reaction. I personally don't believe drones will be allowed to fly unless it is safe for them to do so. But the public will need the reassurance of an open public debate. On privacy, the industry says that the delivery drones will not have cameras. They will be guided by laser lights. People need assurance on this, because once incidents have happened, the public will not easily be convinced that the threats can be managed. The impact on birds and wildlife is not clear. They could well see drones as predators, and I believe some serious work is needed into this. The use of drone technology is likely to improve productivity, as it will enable many tasks to be carried out more efficiently and effectively. However, the drone industry needs to be careful not to overclaim and to acknowledge that some jobs will be lost. For example, jobs in drone delivery will mean losses in surface level transport. What is likely is that the job losses will largely involve unskilled workers, while the gains will be in the skilled sectors. To repeat, new technologies usually result in an increase in employment, often in areas that cannot be identified when the technology is first being developed. But the drone industry does need to be transparent about the jobs which may be lost. Although drones and wind turbines are not the same, I think there are lessons which can be drawn from the introduction some years ago of wind turbines. Some countries introduced wind turbines more effectively and successfully than others. But in many places, they resulted in a significant number of complaints. Some of those were caused by visual intrusion, but others were about noise. Many wind turbines were erected in haste, often in advance of adequate regulations and without adequate debate. People were impacted by a new type of noise. There's an obvious parallel here with drones. But I believe that the wind power industry has the potential to learn from mistakes made by the wind power industry. So my recommendations: a public debate on drones is initiated. That debate is accompanied by comprehensive trials, including testing people's reactions to numerous drones overhead, and the results of those tests inform guidance and regulations at both a national and EU level. Just finally then, just to put up my details again for you to, in case you would like to contact me. There they are. And thank you so much for, once again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to take part in this debate and to present this paper.